Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting edition of Steelers Dynasty Podcast. I'm your host, Bad Bubba Brewer, and I'm going to bring on my co-host right now, special field correspondent Shane Stodmiller. Shane, how you doing?
Doing good. Some bad news today. If you're a West Virginia fan or an NBA fan, Jerry West passed away. The logo.
I seen that. He was what, 86?
86, yeah.
Ooh, and then they just did that Hulu. Didn't they do a TV show on him or a documentary or a limited series?
He was featured in that Lakers drama, whatever. But yeah. So
okay. Well, we got a great show for everybody tonight. So everybody grab your Iron City, your Icy Light, because we got a special guest coming in the studio, and we are going to be talking Steelers football as we do every Wednesday night. So here we go. Once again, we're back. Steelers Dynasty Podcast. Without further ado, we want to bring on our special guest. He is the host of this podcast overseas, Steelers Nation Australia. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the most positive Steeler fan I have ever met. How about it, Shane?
Yeah. He's like the sun. He's the sunshine enema from down under.
I'm telling you.
He is so he literally, ladies and gentlemen, will tell you the future because he is in such a time zone that he's talking to us it's the next day, guys.
and the thing is, if we were 7-10, he still is upbeat. Nothing gets him down, and he hates Cincinnati. So when he comes over, he's gonna fly and just throw shit out the airplane on Cincinnati when he comes around, when he comes to Pittsburgh during Christmas. But everybody, let's welcome to the Steelers Dynasty Podcast, our man, Mark from Steelers Nation Australia. Mark, how you doing?
First of all, that's a great intro. I don't deserve that. That's fantastic.
Why not? I
Love
think
that.
you do. I think you
do.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. I want to say too, if we were 7-10, this is how much of my fan of Steelers don't have positive about it. We were 7-10 and we're like one game out of the wild card, and say it was like the Dolphins who were like 7 seed. I would hope that like a meteor crashed into the Dolphins center, blew them up, and then we would be like technically, because the Goodell can't run a playoff game with 15 teams, so he'd be like, oh, I know the Dolphins just their whole team exploded. We still got to field the team though, and then we get a shot. You're never out of it, really, are you? If a meteor comes down like that. But no, 7-10, we have actually. I don't think I've never seen 7-10.
Nope. No, you never have. You have never seen a losing.
I haven't. No,
you have never seen a losing Steelers season in your entire life.
I don't know. No wonder why he's sunshine and rainbows. I mean, he's just.
If he lived during the 80s, he'd be like pulling his hair out. He'd have half his hair on the one side, and then he'd be bitching because we didn't draft Dan Marino like I've been for the last 3 decades.
You remember getting shit for being a Steelers fan? People saying they suck.
He is. He's finally made it. He's finally made it. Took him a month to get on this channel. Burns. Thank God. And we will hear your Steeler and your football knowledge, connoisseur. So thanks for finally coming back around, Burnsy. Damn. So it took like a month, Mark, for him to find the channel. Like I've been putting out cookies and crumbs and Iron City and Icy Light cans.
Isn't Brian Burns a cornerback for the Panthers? Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. But that's no relation.
Okay.
You're absolutely right.
I just found out too. It was 2003. So I became a fan in 2002. So I had one season of 6-10, but I was like 13 years of age, so I didn't know what I was looking at.
Yeah, that doesn't count. That doesn't count because you were just like you weren't invested as you are now. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, he is the most positive Steeler podcaster, Steeler fan. He's coming over here Christmas. He's all excited. You're all excited for that, aren't you?
100%. Yeah, I'll be there from the 19th of December to the 8th or something like that. So Steelers versus Ravens. I'm going to try and plan something in Pittsburgh and try and get you guys there on the 21st. We're going to have a watch party in some bar, some way, somehow.
Yeah, we'll be doing something, definitely.
And then
we're going to try to get you on DVE.
On what?
We're going to get
What's
you
DVE?
on DVE. DVE is like Pittsburgh. Go ahead, Shane. Explain it to him.
Well, so basically, I've been pumping a few emails out to some local sports places, and I need your fans to do the same. So when you broadcast on your channel, I need Jared Devil and all those guys to be calling KDKA, to be calling WTAE, The Fan, 937 The Fan, and just basically say that you're the fucking Steelers Santa.
Santa?
Yep. You're Santa from down under, and you're coming, and they might think you're just like a handicapped Make-A-Wish kid that talks funny from Lower Borough.
If it helps me out, if it gives me the advantage, that's all I'll say for that. You know what I'm saying? If it gives me a one edge up, I'm fine with that. I'll play the role. It's cool. But that's what I'm saying.
Well, that'll be something. That'll be something. Yeah, he didn't see that.
Yeah, I was just
never saw those people, Burns, ever. These are all. Frank Pollard was a running back. Delton Hall was a corner. Ouija was a receiver, and Louis Lips was a great receiver. These are all 80 Steelers.
Yeah, I know Louis Lips. I know that bloke.
Yeah. Don't tarnish him with the 80 stuff here. We're you
have to be happy with a Louis Lips jersey. That's what you settled for in the 80s. Like, oh, I got a Louis Lips jersey.
Well, Merrill Hodge. I love Merrill Hodge.
Before that, he had retired, didn't he?
Nope. Merrill Hodge was in the 80s, man. We went on the back of him in Denver, almost won the championship, went to the championship. You know.
So in my lifetime too, then since I've been born, I think.
Hello, dear.
They've never been. Oh no, 1999 was the last time the Steelers came fourth in the division. Wait a minute, but that was fourth or sixth. What was sixth? Was that the AFC Central, right? Is that correct? Yes.
Yes.
So when's the last time they've come last in the division?
I believe that
1988.
When
Ooh. I think.
Well, I think Cowher's last year they weren't before he retired.
Or last in the division though.
It wasn't good.
I think it's 1988. That was the year before I was born in 1989. So there you go. That's probably where it comes from. Never seen last.
Yeah, Chuck's last year, Burns says.
There you go.
Okay, Burnsy. Okay. Right on. So speaking of coaches, we got a coach that signed an extension, and you were all excited on your show. Now on this show, we have a little bit of bumps. I know they're not going to get rid of him ever, but for me, I would like to win a playoff because I'm still butthurt when we didn't win anything with the Killer Bees. So let me get your take on this 3-year extension, which is actually a 4-year, like you said on the off camera. So let's hear it, Mark. What is your thoughts and feelings about this? And you can say anything you want to. The platform is yours, and we do not censor here in the United States, so you are all good.
Yeah. The big thing to me is if I come from like a business standpoint from the Rooneys, it makes a lot of sense to give Coach Tomlin another 4 years. He's been committed to the program for 18 years. He knows where his locker is. He knows all that kind of stuff. Like Coach Tomlin is Pittsburgh, like through and through. Yes, the fan base, or I would probably say like maybe 25% of the fan base are really frustrated and don't want Tomlin there anymore. And they think he's a bum. He's done. He's over. I'm not saying that you guys think that. I'm saying there's people out there that have no respect.
Oh, I got a comment here. As soon as you're done talking, and I'm gonna then you can go. And then maybe he won't last long, but I'm going to let you keep talking. But there is comments.
That's what I'm saying. I already see what it says. It's dumb move, which I disagree with. Because
okay.
I would say then who would you try and find? This has been the narrative for a long time. Who would you try and find to replace Tomlin? And I understand that I'm being a bias because he's been my coach for 18 years, and I have that respect for him. But I would say too is from a business standpoint, for the Rooneys to do this, it's a no-brainer. At this point in time, do you really think that if you fire the coach and get rid of Tomlin, that next year the new coach comes in and is going to win a Super Bowl? No. That to me isn't going to happen. It's based on the team. They're building the roster, the O-line, the quarterback, and there's so much pressure. Yes, Tomlin hasn't won a playoff game. What I always go back to is 12 teams have never won a Super Bowl. Think about that. 12 teams have never won. Tomlin has won. And also 4 teams have never been. In the history of the NFL, over 100 years, 12 teams have never won. That includes the Bills going there 4 times, which is hilarious. They went there 4 times and lost. That includes the Vikings going there 4 times. That includes the Bengals going there 3 times. That includes the Cardinals, who we beat, who are a franchise from the they seem like the Cardinals from like 1877. They've been around for ages. They went there, we beat them. So it's really hard to win football games, NFL games, really hard to win the division. It's really hard to do what Coach Tomlin does. The thing is, where if Coach Tomlin won a playoff game or one more Super Bowl, everybody would be quiet. They'd shut up. So I can't wait to see people shut up when he does do this. But with Coach Tomlin as well, I feel like he doesn't get the respect that he deserves from everyone, but he can't please everyone. Not everyone likes me. Not everyone likes you guys. Not everyone always likes everyone. And then the same with me. When I walk around town, I don't like some people who I walk past or whatever. And that to me is just it doesn't matter on that sense. From a fan level, it doesn't matter what I think, you think, or anyone thinks. We just have a platform to talk about it. But as a business sense, Rooney's made the right decision. You go and sign Coach T, and you got him for the next 4 years, a guy you know who can get this team to the playoffs at least, and then you have a chance. That's where I'll end that part there.
No, I agree. I think this is his probably strongest year having an offense. Well, he had what was the offensive coordinator that his wife was a swinger. What Jesus, I'm losing. I got too many hits to the head. Oh Jesus.
2018, they were pretty good. They had a good offense.
Well, he was great for Ben. And I'm losing. Oh my God, I can't believe that. I'm usually pretty good. He was a coach for the Kansas City Chiefs. Never. Oh God.
Marty Schottenheimer?
No. He was our offensive coordinator after Bruce Arians. And Ben had he was standing upright.
Todd Haley?
Yes, Todd Haley. Yes. Thank you very much. Oh my God. Holy
Bingo.
shit, I'm thinking too much wrestling or something now. I can't think of what the hell's going on. But yeah, because when Haley, that offense was great. I think this offense right now with I'm going to be an Arthur Smith thing. So I'm going to be pro. So with Tomlin having him this year, and we're going to talk about some players that could be developing in this offense that could be gangbusters. I probably don't know who they would actually get as a coach anyway, if they wanted to get a coach. Okay. I'm just upset because we haven't won a playoff game. That is what really truly pisses me off. Last year, without a quarterback, he got us to the playoffs. Tomlin did. So I can't bitch about that. But this year is a different vibe. Patrick Queen would have never came to Pittsburgh if we didn't have Tomlin as our coach. That's true. But I don't know. I think that's not going to be the standard.
Can I make one comment on this? Brian Burns will say shit like this. No offense to you, Brian Burns. But you'll say shit like this as if I'm fucking happy about this. It's not. I just won't sit. The difference between me and you and Brian Burns, and I don't care if you ever come to my show, you're probably a good bloke. The difference is, though, I'll be positive about my team, being hopeful about the Steelers, and you'll sit there in your fucking chair and go, we're going to be 9-8 all season. This team sucks. Fuck me. Sorry. Seriously.
No, you're good. I knew it was coming.
That came out of nowhere.
We're not picking him, Burns. There's no way we're picking Nick.
Love you, Burns. Burns, I love you. But you can't sit there as a mentality as a person. Don't sit there. Be hopeful about the team. God. Okay, sorry.
The jury's still out, and I'll tell you why. Because last year, he mismanaged a decent quarterback. Okay? He had Mason Rudolph, which was probably the best bet, and then still played Mitch Trubisky. That was a bonehead move. Okay? Yeah.
I agree. I agree 100%. Bad move.
Okay. So he got into the playoffs despite himself. Now, this year, if he screws up a wet dream, which is this ball club they have now, then my tune's going to change. So he bought a little bit of slack with this getting into the playoffs. But I hate saying the Steelers organization.
No, you can say we. I'm
playoff
say
win.
we.
Yeah.
A playoff win. That is like the bare minimum of what the standard should be. And then a little bit of sprinkles on top of that cupcake would be AFC Championship.
Oh, you prick. He ain't been on for a month, but he's firing with all cylinders tonight.
No, I agree. There needs to be criticism towards Tomlin 100%. Right, I do back him. I respect him. I like the way he's a person, how he handles the media. I think he's really good for the locker room. There are numerous players in this team that play for Coach Tomlin. Fields,
I agree.
TJ Watt, all these players come to play for Coach Tomlin. And then you get those comments like the 9-8 is a standard. Well, fans in my position who are really positive about Tomlin, we don't like that either. We don't like losing. But the reality is, when I come back to it, is that it's fucking hard to win games and it's fucking hard to win a Super Bowl. It's not that easy. And then they go back to all the way to Cowher's players. It wasn't Cowher's players. There was a year in between where Coach Cowher didn't win a Super Bowl. That was the 6-10 season or whatever it was, right? So where's the pressure on Coach Cowher? He only won one. I just think it's you can't. I understand the criticism and where it needs to be the playoff. It needs to be a playoff. Need to win 100%. We should have had a chance last year, but then you got to go back to the Rudolph pick and the Pickett's fumble, the team overall.
You can't coach that. You can't coach that. That happens on the field, and those things happen.
Hey, here's another thing I want to point out, guys. You're only as good as your quarterback. In this league, if you don't have a quarterback, you can be the best. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Do you know what that is? Do you know what a ganger is? Do you guys know what that is?
No.
You don't want to know.
Oh, that's okay.
It's like an Australian term for like lady of the night.
Oh, like a whore, like a hooker. Oh, okay. Yeah. Like a prostitute. Okay. Yeah, okay.
Oh, like no, like
that.
Like what? Okay, it's like one of your friends in the group that she's like one of the boys and she likes hanging with the boys.
Oh,
and they're all.
Right. I know what you're talking about.
I don't know why. I always get along with the boys more, and girls don't like me. Yeah, that's because you jumping around town.
Yeah.
Have to get canceled.
That's funny. Right. No, we didn't. We're not getting canceled. KC makes it look easy. Well, that could end at any time soon. One hit to Patrick Mahomes' arm or leg, and he's one hit away.
Quarterback, and Mahomes is a freaking lottery ticket. He's a Powerball.
He is.
When he was at Texas Tech, he was throwing up 400 or 500 yards a game, but that wasn't unusual in the Big 12 at that point. Texas Tech always had a lot of gunslingers. When he came into the league, it was a surprise for everyone that he did as well as he did. There's no way that you thought that was going to translate to the NFL. Like I said, Cowher, you're only as good as your quarterback. Cowher, he didn't really have anybody, and he made it to the Super Bowl. So, but you got
he hung on Cordell a little long. And Cordell, I mean, he had us in Denver through that pick in the end zone with triple coverage. But also too, Cowher had some debacle games that are just as bad as Tomlin games.
Yeah. So I mean, no one's perfect. No one's going to have a great game. Every game's going to be a great game. But Tomlin also had Ben for 90% of the games that he has won and in his tenure as Steelers coach. So what other than maybe Bill Belichick or somebody who else has had that many Foster's Australia? Tomlin took Kenny Pickett for Christ's sake.
Can I jump in here one more time for me and Brian Burns having a bit of fight off here? It's another thing I always see. It always seems to be Tomlin does everything. Why is it always focused on the head coach to do all the picks? That wasn't Kevin Colbert. That wasn't part of the organization. That wasn't Buddy Lunch Lady Doris. Having opinions which you get a quarterback. It's not just Tomlin choosing the quarterback, and it all comes down to heat on him. But I tell you what. When Brian Burns, when we go to Super Bowl, he'll be the most quietest person in the party. He'll be elbowing people. He'll be going, I was always a supporter of Coach Tomlin. He's my bloke. When he starts winning, it's easy to shit on someone when they're losing.
I've known Brian Burns for 25 years. He's never quiet. Never. Quiet is not in Burns' vocabulary.
How long did you say, Bubba?
Over 20.
We've
Over.
never
Well,
talked-
no. It's got to be 35 since Little League,
Yeah.
since the
Well,
80s.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know if I'm sorry, but I'm
an
just
old
saying
man.
that everything always pinpoints to Tomlin stuffing up in this, but it's a whole organization. It's a team. It's everyone. The organization chose Kenny Pickett and Kevin Colbert and even Omar Khan when he was doing the finances, right? Everyone did that. Not just Tomlin choosing his players.
They picked Kenny Pickett because they didn't want the repeat of not picking a quarterback They didn't want the Dan Marino thing.
Yes, they wanted the quarterback straight away, and they should have went O-line. We all know that, and that's why we've come now in 2 years. 2 years now. We've built the O-line. They went and got veteran quarterbacks, and they're still getting heat for that because people don't like Fields, people don't like Wilson. And yet
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with both of those guys. I mean, what quarterback are we going to get? You know what I mean? Right now, that we got a quarterback that has won a Super Bowl, and we got a second-string quarterback that's fast on his feet and could come up with some
built like a brick shit house.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be your quarterback next year.
Did you ever hear that term?
Brick shit house.
I was wondering if Mark built like
I think I've heard that. Yeah. I've heard a lot of things. No, but I think, like, in the Tomlin stuff, I know you want to move on to other things, but of course, I am biased toward my Steelers, and I'm more positive than I'm negative. But it's in my daily life where I don't want to go into chats and say that Tomlin sucks and this, because I just feel like it brings everything down. Now, you can be critical. Right. Like, okay, here's some things I'm critical of Tomlin. I do think sometimes in playoff games and in some games that Tomlin doesn't have his team ready to a certain degree. Now, it doesn't be on players. So where you play in a big game and you're versus Patriots, versus Cardinals, and you're like, damn, we should beat this team easy. They're a football team, those side too. And also, the Steelers have like an X on their back all the time in these scenarios when they verse the lower teams. They want to try and beat them. The Browns did it in the playoff game. They smashed us.
That was a debacle. I mean? And that coach was even on COVID at home. We got beat by a special teams coach. So it was going now Tomlin couldn't help that, the ball went over Ben's fucking head. And then we're down by 7 already. I mean, shit happens.
You can critique him for that, for the playoff game versus the Jags. You can critique him for, mismanaging the AB thing and not winning playoff games and Super Bowls in that time. You can give him, negative vibes for not going anywhere with Cameron Hayward or TJ Watt, for sure, right? 100%. But it still comes down to it's a player's got to do their job as well. I think it's more than just one of the annoying most arguments I hear is it's mediocre Mike and this and this. But the bloke has been winning. Like, he's won 170 games, and his division record is 70 versus 30 in the division. So yes, we haven't won another Super Bowl, but there are other small victories you can take along the way. Now I already know what Brian's going to say. We don't want that. We don't want divisions. We want championships. Well, how the fuck do you get that point to get there? To get that championship, you go and win the AFC North, and you go and win those 10 games. People say, we don't want 10 games. Well, you can't win a Super Bowl winning 0.
You just got to get in the game. You just got to get in the dance, take the hot lady. You got to take the smoking piece of ass at the dance, and that's what you get. And then if you dance with her and things happen, then you're moving on.
Tomlin has one of the best in the NFL. It's like getting laid with a Ferrari. It's expected. You know what I mean?
The negative thing that I see on Cowher is some of the coaching that he has under him that aren't, to me, as good as they could be, or somebody that they could get. Like Flores, I think they should have kept him as a defensive coordinator, but I don't know what happened because we only can speculate. I have no idea, but he went to Minnesota, but he would have been such an upgrade from, I'm not a big Austin because our stats are terrible. And if it wasn't for TJ Watt, like, he's like the oncoming of Jesus Christ. So if he's not in the lineup, we're already screwed before we even get into the stadium. But that's one of his downfalls with Tomlin is his coaching tree is about as big as my fan over here. It's not big.
Exactly. It's like a cactus.
Well, cactuses are pricky.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing that I can. But I do like his pick. I think this year he's all in it to win it. I believe that. Look, he's a Steeler. I'm gonna, whatever. Sometimes he makes me angry, but I believe he right now is in it to win more than one playoff game this year. But he's got to get us in there.
I do understand the argument of the coaching tree, how he hasn't got, guys under him who went to other teams and become successful in this, and this. I don't like the idea though how when people say that Coach Tomlin doesn't let them speak and all that kind of stuff. You know, I think we put too much drama involved in that kind of thing. Like we're not in the locker room, but the stats would say yes, he doesn't have a coaching tree under him where guys have been successful in other areas. But we're not there. But I always come back to as well is like you said before in your point, Bubba. It's like you might be average with the move. You're mid with the move. It's okay, but we can't change it. Do you know what I mean?
No,
also, I was reading some articles about Alan Saunders. He's a Steelers reporter over there. Been saying saying his name a lot. He's been talking about if you were to get rid of the coach, then who going to get? You know what I mean?
I've been saying that for years, and I've been saying that, and I thought we could get people, but realistically, who are we going to get? Because there's been major coaches in major organizations that you thought were good that couldn't even win a goddamn game. So realistically, who are you going to get where these players are actually coming to the media and they're coming and talking on podcasts and they're talking on your podcast like McFadden, you know, when he was like overly, So they're overly excessively showing their appreciation for Tomlin because they have played for him and they will run through a brick wall for him. So me personally, as a Steeler podcaster, I mean, what am I going to do? I'm going to go with the Steelers and hoping that Tomlin can correct his miscues and work towards 2024. And hopefully we could get better than we did. If we get better offensively, we're already head of the game. If we could score some points, we scored 20 some points a game. We're already 23 points. We're in every game this year.
There is one thing I kind of want to happen. I think it'll be one of the most funniest things ever to happen in Steeler history. If Tomlin gets fired in 2026, the next coach take over, if they win the next in 2027 Super Bowl, I will be saying every fucking episode that the Steelers won the 2007 Super Bowl with Coach Tomlin's players. I will not stop saying that because that's all I hear about is Coach Cal.
I don't think they'll ever fire him. I think he'll retire.
But if it does happen, like if he retires and the next year the Steelers win Super Bowl, I'll be saying they were Coach Tomlin's players for 50 years. It's the exact same logic, is it not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they had a way.
Hey, I lighten this up a little bit. I want to ask Mark a question. You ready, Mark?
I'm
what
ready.
if game? Okay. James Harrison signature or cunts?
Oh, that's such a hard one.
Oh.
I know, buddy.
Can you get them for me?
I know a guy who knows Harrison, but I don't know how I'm going to ask him to do it. You know what I mean? That's the position I'm in. Like I emailed him.
Can he sign a bank check? I'll probably have to go Debo is iconic, mate. Debo is my favorite player of all time. Okay. So
Debo's going to be easier than
I'm kind of scared to meet Debo because you never meet your heroes. Yeah, I feel like he'd chop me on like.
But
he's a brick shit out.
Go to his parents' house and wait out and get a signature, you know, in Bridgeville. But you know, Debo, you can't just be sitting in his lawn. You know what I mean?
So you can't like tell him to sign a check or something like that and then just copy it, like I don't know.
No.
Well, we have a better chance of getting Kuntz's autograph at training camp.
That's true. That's true.
Right. So if we could do, so we do that. We need
we're gonna try to get a picture of you. Maybe in an Australian Speedo. What do you call them? Bungee smugglers?
Hang on a minute. I'll show you something. One second.
Oh my God. If he jumps on here with Speedos, we're in trouble.
It's gonna be fantastic. But we need to have photos. We can
Debo all day. Well, no, what we do is if we do Steelers Nation Australia, his logo, and then if we get Kuntz, he's got that's a pickleball paddle, right?
Yeah, I'll get a photo like this, and you can
pickleball paddle. Yeah.
Yeah, you give me the photo, and I'll go down to camp and I'll see if I can get him to autograph it.
I want to verse him in a game.
To your credit, we want him to know that you're Australian. You're not just handicapped. So you know that's Statovasticus thing. You know, cunts. We don't have to explain to them that that's a pickleball paddle. So you know, maybe an Australian flag or something, But that thing would be fantastic.
Well,
And
we need him with that pickleball paddle with a poster like 11 by 17 on like cardboard, and then we hold it up because then if he sees it, he'll see cunts on the pickleball thing, and he'll look when he's walking up the field because sometimes they walk up to the field, and then other times the bigger names go to the golf cart and then they take off though.
Or I don't know how much a cardboard cutout would be, but we'd try to get a cardboard cutout of Mark so he can attend there, like Flat Stanley, and he would have his paddle that says Cunts. And of course, Cunts' teammates are going to be like, yo, did you see that?
Yeah, they're going to like, you got to sign this.
Bikini, the Australian flag bikini with the Cunts paddle?
It's so you know what's funny? Because when he was a Dallas Renegade, right? He was don't know if he ever played in the NFL. No, he didn't. I think he played in the XFL as a Renegade and Duquesne College, I think. But he was a linebacker, and he wasn't on the practice squad for the Steelers, I think, for a linebacker in 2019 or 20 or something like that. And he got cut. And when he got cut, I didn't buy his jersey then. I was like, damn, because the whole slang with us and I
right.
Cunts or cunts or whatever. Since we say, "G'day, cunts, how you going?" Like we say it that fast, you don't even know we're swearing. Like you have no idea. There's a certain way Australians can say that word where it sounds like poetry, and then some Americans or Canadians will say it, and it sounds like chalk on a chalkboard and nails. You just you're hurting me. Like I would never say it to my grandmother or old people or something like that. I'd be sweet, we'd be talking normal. But if I walk past someone like, "G'day, cunt, how are you?" You don't even know I said it. It was that fast, like it was like a sip, right? So when he came to the team. And it was like Christian Kunz, and it was like it's from a German slang, and that's his name is from a German heritage. Like he got cut, and I was like, damn. But then they re-signed him as a long snapper. I was like, oh my goodness, I gotta buy this dude's jersey, and it's fantastic. So to answer your question, yeah, Debo would be up there, but I want to verse Kunz in a pickleball game. He plays pickleball. I want to verse him in it.
Tag him in a Twitter thing. I bet you he's got Twitter.
Yeah, I have to be next year though if I go to training camp because. Obviously, I can't play him when they're versing the Ravens and then they're versing Chiefs in it's 3 days. So I don't think he'll be ready. Probably busy.
He might be. He might. In case in Iron City and Icy Light, man, anybody can be ready. You never know.
That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Having a few beers, playing that'd be top notch. I've had BMUK on my show. I've had Merrill Hodge. Imagine playing Kunz in a pickleball game. Pick up pickleball game in some park in Pittsburgh.
You got to tag him. You tag him in a Twitter post, and then it floats around through social media because people, you know what I mean. This could be our jelly roll right here.
Do a TikTok.
Yep, do a TikTok and tag it. And
I want to calling out cunts. The pickleball, call out cunts. Call him out to play. I'll burst him in singles. See what happens. Because what do you think? I asked DB the other day. Arsenal DB, got a bloke on YouTube as well. What do you think he does for 8 hours? Like when everyone's training in OTAs and minicamp, he only snaps the ball. Like he obviously can't be out there for 8 hours.
I don't know what he does. I bet you he makes sure the footballs. I mean, he's got to hike it for special teams. So the punting and kicking. That's it. I think they practice just hand drills
like this a little bit, and he'll snap it. They just warm up. Just like
this point, though, I think you have like I don't know, maybe with wrestling, right, Bob? At a certain point where you've done enough training for the day, your certain expertise, right, or whatever it is. There's a certain point, I think, where linebackers do all their stuff. He's like, and same with Chris Boswell and punting, but he snaps the ball. You can't snap the ball for 4 hours.
No,
surely not.
No, he's probably doing hand stuff with gripping the different types of gripping the ball and just walking around just gripping the ball so he doesn't come out, you know what I mean? Because it'd be a botch snap or something.
He wouldn't even go to, like, his position, getting paid $1 million a year or whatever. He wouldn't even go to defensive meetings. He'd probably go to offensive ones, like maybe
special teams. Well, this is what. That could be.
You know what a lot of America's finest Tier 1 soldiers would do down in Fort Benning? Play Wii tennis.
I
came to my office and we'd be playing Wii tennis. We'd come out, we're like, oh, my Wii muscles are so sore. Like you've been working out.
What's the army saying, Shane? It's like ready and wait or sit and wait or something. What is it?
I'll hurry up and wait. So literally, we're 15 hours a day training some of these guys. So you'd have like 3 or 4 hours downtime. So like, you go in your office and we'd play Wii golf.
So what's
Oh my
so
God. Well,
you have to
that's
get to
probably
a
what he does.
fast, and then you just wait for something to happen for the next
Well, the
whatever.
other guys doing stuff, but we'd go and we'd play some Wii golf.
You know what? I bet you. Well, next time I go down there, I go down there, I'll have to pay attention and see what he actually does during the whole 2 hours, like the 2 hour practice. Because I mean, they kick the ball, and then after they kick the ball, they're on the side. He's on the sidelines. If they have a couple kicks where they're,
That's what I'm
having
saying.
some
Like,
goal
what,
lines,
I wonder what he does. Oh, it could be working on blocking. That could be a good idea. That's true. Very true.
Yeah.
Blocking.
Yeah, I think it's like, calisthenics, stretching, and then just practicing that snap, just
Well,
like
he probably goes on drills. He probably does go drills with the offensive line, and they go around.
get step off and get that block in as quick as he can. But with things changing,
True. The new kickoff return. Yeah.
We're going to be good on that.
He might
too.
be.
We're going to be good on that. I seen an article where Danny Smith was busting Percy Harvin's punting, and he's so glad that we got Bill Burr, Brian Burns as our punter.
Hey, remember Brad Wing?
Yes,
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah,
My favorite.
And
He's an Australian.
I think he's in playing in the Canadian Football League.
Nah, he's in the UFL. He plays for the San Antonio Brahmas.
Okay.
They're in the championship next week
with McFarland
years ago.
Yep.
No, I don't see anybody competing with Zach Kelly. Zach is
starting.
Is God status. He's like, they might have Rolexes there, but he's a freaking Casio.
Yeah.
They can't break him. It's like he's God tier.
Zach Frazier has just entrenched himself in could be into the center lores of Steeler football center histories, from Mansfield to Webster to Damani Dawson to Pouncey. Frazier could be number 5 on a Mount Rushmore. I don't want to go ahead of myself, but I mean,
Kelly, you're right. Yeah. Nate Herbig is also it's fantastic baller. I'm a big fan of him.
Well, Herbig dear could be backup center and play both guard positions. So he's going to be an added luxury, because our offensive line is going to just steamroll people.
Hey, Mark, I want to ask you, have you ever seen those interviews where the players are asking Debo questions and they look petrified?
Asking what questions?
Debo. They're asking Debo questions.
Oh, yeah. Wasn't that the one they tried to make him laugh or something like that?
Yeah.
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 That's Debo's natural face, though.
Well,
he's up to Sweeson and grab him and scare the crap out of him, which was fantastic.
He's an actor now, right? Did you know he was an actor?
Debo?
Yeah, I watched Heels,
yes.
and then they canceled it. They canceled season 2, I think.
It'll be on Netflix. Netflix will be season 3.
Oh yeah, Heels. He was a wrestler. He was plastic.
Yeah, it'll be back. I think maybe sometime in the summer. But yeah,
is Debo back as Apocalypse?
I believe so. I believe so. Yeah, I didn't. I mean, he was doing pretty good there in that role. And he's not like, I met him at IUP at a Steeler charity basketball game. He's not tall at all. And I met him. I got an autograph. The famous when he hurdled the guy in Chargers. He got that interception, and it's a famous where he hurdled over that guy. I have it up here somewhere. And I met him. He was at the Indiana Mall. It was like me and like 3 other people. I swear to God.
When he tackled the Browns player on the field?
Yeah.
Got him by like this to the ground. Oh, that was Matty Pepper. He thought Matty thought Schweizern was Tom Brady.
Was he drunk?
I think it was during the drafts, and we all did together. We talked about that. And then he thought because
funny.
he was going to Debo was going with Schweizern to Ireland or something like that, promoting the game over there.
And kicked a field goal.
You met him?
No, yeah, on the field with Pouncey a couple years ago through this veterans thing. I went down. I got to meet all the Steelers for, say hi to them, and
He wasn't a bad kicker. He wasn't a
Wasn't
bad
he the
kicker.
one that broke? Didn't he break his leg in the Hall of Fame game? Sweden?
He tore something. He tore
Yeah.
something. He was
and
never
then
right.
that's when Chris Boswell came after that, right? A year later.
Yeah.
So how that works out too, because I think he was doing pretty well for us, and then something broke. He tore something, and then someone else came in after. It was Chris Boswell after. But you know what? Chris Boswell has been kicking for 10 years or 9 years now.
He's a
been
tall.
crazy.
He's
MVP,
tall.
like, every game.
He's like 6'6". He's tall as shit. I met him at the gym. He was lifting. He was dating a girl from IUP. And I went over
He's
to
married
him. And
now.
he's married now, not the same girl. Because I think he broke up with her, and that was the year he was off. So he wasn't getting any nookie, and he wasn't kicking any good field goals. It happens, you know. It happens.
He's winning on the field and off the field. You know what I'm saying? He's up there. He's a great kicker. Like he you know what's too, like they always talk about Justin Tucker 91% or 9%. Chris Boswell's 89% accuracy throughout his entire career, and no one talks about it, which is probably a good thing for us because there's no hex on him.
Mm-hmm.
But
right,
they always talk about every NFL analyst always talk about Justin Tucker, the one of the best ones. They never give Chris Boswell credit.
Well, they don't talk about anything about us.
They talk about this in college football at Heinz Field or now Acrisure. Acrisure is not an easy place to kick, and you give that kid 2-3% for kicking with that wind that comes in from the river there. I'm just saying that's not an easy place to kick field goals.
You ain't kicking no 57-yarder at Heinz Field.
That is one thing. If Brian Burns is still there, well, I agree with Brian Burns. Is that there are times that Tomlin puts out Chris Boswell. There was one time last year he put him out for a 56-yarder and he missed it, and I was like, "What?" And that was his only miss last year, I think it was. I'll look it up in a minute. And I was like, "Tomlin, what are you doing? Why are you giving Boswell a 55-yarder in Heinz Field? He can get them, but it's super hard to get." So sometimes stuff like that.
Anywhere else, he could kick a 55-yarder. Heinz Field, very minimal.
I think it was it was last year or something like that that he got.
Every year he does that.
He missed 2 last year, and that was one of them. Yeah, he missed 2 last year, 93% last year, and that was one. It was like near the end of halftime versus one of the games, and Tomlin said, "Yeah, just go out there and have a chance," and missed it, and then
right.
over.
Yeah. It was probably was it the Cardinal game or the Colts game?
I can't remember. And there was one too. Remember that dang penalty we had too? They called the center offside or something like that, and Chris Paul, it might have been that game. And I think it was that game. He called the center offside, and Chris Boswell nailed the 50, but then he tried a 55 and didn't get it.
Right,
yeah,
right.
And they said this the center was offside or on their side. And it's like, and you go back to the tape, and the refs will, throwing flags like it was nothing.
Oh, I don't want to see him. No, I don't want to see him tackling anybody. Hands up, man, and let him run by.
Well, I do enjoy watching Pat McAfee's highlights when he would tackle people.
Well, McAfee's a different breed. McAfee's such a different breed.
Hey, you know what's an interesting point though? They might put out there if Chris Boswell doesn't do it. I'm not saying they will, but they might put out Cameron Johnson, the punter, because he played AFL and he knows how to tackle. But I don't know if you want your punter or kicker doing any kind of tackling.
No, you don't want Bill Bird to go flying down there as a headhunter, and because he's in his mid-30s, he's like 34, 35.
Yeah, but he can tackle from previously playing AFL. But it's a bit like the stupid rumor you had around Jalen Warren made a joke about Danny Smith and the kickoff return being Fields. It's not going to happen. You're not going to have your kicker or punter being your lead tackler for the teams. You want to make the other 11 guys go down and tackle him. Are you guys
right.
too like? Are you guys not worried? Are you guys like intrigued about the new kickoff return? I don't know what it's going to look like. It's going to be different. They got to wait for the ball to catch, and then they can run.
So realistically, they're not going to have the head of steam going down as you would if you're running as soon as the ball's kicked off. So,
yeah. And you got to wait. The defense has to wait for them to catch it. So then who interprets that? Do you do a fake catch? Does the ref go, now you can run? I think it's kind of weird to me. Like they've got to wait till it catches, which is strange.
Well, they're going to probably have a couple screw ups, and they're probably going to have to wait until they get it right. So it's going to be the year of transition for the kickoffs.
I think it's going to be exciting. I was shitting all over it when it first happened, and I've done a complete 180.
You keen for it? So what happens? So the defense starts from what their 40, something like that.
Let me lay it out for you, Mark. So So your kicker is going to be way back, and then you have 10 yards off of that. You're going to have the offense and the defense lined up. So no one's going to really get a running start. They're not going to get much of that running start. You're not going to be running full tilt, for 15, 20 yards. You're just going to get enough speed to go that 5 or 6 yards before you make contact with those guys. So that changes it a bit. You're not going to have those. And they used to have a guy called a gunner, and
there's no headhunters. There's no hunters on the ends now. They have no reason. They have no reason to have those now because it won't be possible. Probably not. That's why they don't want people getting concussed. Because when they fly down there like a bat out of hell.
Oh, I see. So yeah, landing zone from the 20. That's when they catch it. Setup zone is for is at the 30, and our defense starts at the 40.
Here, I'm right. Less momentum, less injuries. Yeah, I mean you're absolutely right, Steelers freak. So it'll be the return guy that actually makes a difference. If the return guy can get a little hole, he could be gone if he's a good returner. Which we have one now. I don't know who's gonna do.
Well, I guess then the kicker starts from what I see here. The kicker starts from the 35, our 35. The kickoff start line is our defense starts from the 40, and their team's on the 30. So you're right. Yeah. What if they get past the 10 men? Then you've only got one kicker left. Then what do you do? Just let them run to the end zone. Done.
Yep.
Here, I got something I want to show.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll put it on up here. If I can work the computer. It's not like I don't do this all day.
Well, you're better at it than me.
Okay, so here we go. Can you guys see it? I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, as she said.
Okay. There you go.
All right, so here it is. So basically,
like strategic.
As I mentioned, there's a no blocking area. So it's like a safe zone. So you can't really engage in that area. So they're literally 10 to 12 yards from each other where they're set up, and you're not allowed to wedge block anymore. So you're not allowed.
Sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks, man. So it's going to be the returner. So if the returner gets through a little bit, he could be gone. So if a returner gets 20 yards or 25 yards. Now, they're kicking off? Where are they kicking off at, Shane?
They're kicking off down there where it says NFL Ops. So that they're the team over to the left where it says no wedge blocks. Now, what they do is they have the people in the blue. There has to be 8 players in that area for the receiving team.
Okay.
So the 8 players. Now, what will probably happen is they'll probably have 9 players in that area and then 2 players back to return. Depending on because they can kick it to the right or the left.
So how in the hell are they going to do an onside kick?
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's going to be super difficult,
Because the guy's already ahead of the kicker, as I see on this diagram, and they're going to have to wait till the ball goes past them.
The onside kick is pretty much going to make it. It was hard enough with previous rules to get an onside kick. Now it's going to be almost impossible.
I think they have to announce it. I'm pretty sure they got to announce it. There's no surprise onside kick anymore. You got to announce.
Well, that fucks everything up though, because if you're not paying attention and somebody's out there twiddling their thumbs and they need they're down by 6 and they need an onside kick, it's coming, but you're not paying attention. Or down by 3.
So wait, the defense can't run until they touch the ball, right? Or it hits the ground.
I think I'm gonna have to read, but I think it has to go past a certain point before they can run. So,
I reckon we're going to see a lot of squib kicks. You're going to see a lot of guys do no hang time and hit the ground. Then you're going to see guys run faster to the ball.
That could happen too.
It's gonna. I'll tell you what. They probably have a whole cadre of coaches kind of wargaming it, and you will see it
completely new
over the next 18 months transition and different approaches on how to
your kickoff now could be a vital part of positioning now of your offensive where your ball is going to be, and you could, if you got a good returner, you could score a touchdown maybe pretty quick because the defense can't really get a head start and go down.
Yeah. So, yeah, Steelers Freak is right, or AKA John. You know, yeah, it's gonna be different. I mean, I'm excited to see. I don't know if excited is the word. I'm eager to see
Well,
how this.
we'll see it in preseason. So once the first preseason week, you'll see. We'll see how it is. I don't know. I think
Yeah, I think you're right. You guys are spot on. It's gonna be that you're no longer gonna have the huge
I
plays.
just don't know how. I don't know how you're going to do an onside kick if you needed one, and you really
Yeah,
don't want to announce that hey, I'm going to do an onside kick now. You really don't want to announce it, so that takes that kind of mystique or poker playing out of the roulette wheel,
well, the
because
other
they know
thing
it's coming.
you used to be able to take half of the players and line them up all on one side and do your onside kick, or sometimes they did a directional onside kick where the guy was running that way and another person would kick the ball.
At
You
least
know,
two players between the numbers and the hash, at least two players on the outside numbers. And it looks like they're 10 yards up from where the kicker is.
so yeah, so those guys all have to stay there. They can't bunch up or they can't change like before.
So it's
And
like Braveheart. I mean, it's like fucking Braveheart where William Wallace is like, oh, we're gonna freedom, and then you got a little bit, and then you're waiting for it to cross the Great Divide.
kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
So you have to have players, two players between numbers and hash. You can't bunch up one side. You couldn't have 5 players right next to the football at the halfway line and the other 5 on the other side. They want them spread out.
Here's another thing, Mark and Bubba. Think of your special teams players. They were usually like a spur or a bandit guy, maybe a defensive, a lot of defensive backs,
Right.
Guys that were a little lighter. You're going to have a little thicker, more rugged guys. Maybe
you're gonna have a couple linemen in there because
couple
fluff on the,
you're going to have thicker guys in that blue zone. So they're going to have a harder time tackling the guy. So it might be more explosive. You might see more play.
Paul Revere didn't come across the horse.
I think that was The Patriot, where he told
Great movie.
Yeah, you're right. It was.
Ambush.
You're right.
Ambush scenes where he had his kids positioned in a linear ambush.
Yeah, that's one of the best scenes ever in history, in movie history.
Well, that and William Wallace, Braveheart, and yeah. Oh my
Poor
God,
Mel Gibson's been through a lot with something. So most of films, his family gets done in most of films.
Yeah, well, you can't
rampage.
Don't get drunk and have your phone handy. Don't do that.
You have to have a picture of. Is it like Catholics and the Pope? Australians have a picture of old Mel.
I almost met Mel Gibson. I was this close when I was working in Canada, and I'm still pissed off this day because when I went to lunch on my lunch break from the hotel I was working at, these 2 girls after said, "Did you see Mel Gibson?" And I was like, "No, but why are you telling me now? Why didn't you tell me before?" I was like, "There's no point telling me now that he was here. Why don't you tell me that he is here?" I was pissed off. I was like, I could have went and said hello to him. He was in my restaurant. I didn't even know he was there.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I would have went and said, I would have annoyed him. Would have been, "Hey man, nice meeting you. Have a great day. Thanks, Mel. You're a legend." That's it. And they said, "Did you see him?" I was like, "Why didn't you tell me at 8:00 in the morning and not at 12 when he's gone?" Anyways,
that's funny. Well, not really funny, but
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're gonna have to educate us. Definitely educate us. Definitely. Hey, so before we get out of here, I wanted to talk a little bit about maybe this being our second wide receiver 2, Calvin Austin. I guess he's doing real good, getting a lot of good positive feedback from the receiver coach. Do you guys think this could be our number 2 right now, just with what you see, what you hear, based on, mandatory mini camp and all the other stuff? Because we haven't made a trade yet, which I thought that was going to happen, and that has not happened. So that is, I think that's off the desk now. I I just think they're going to just go with what they have.
I've never heard a fan base talk about receiver number 2 and Brandon Ayuk for months and months on end. It's fucking exhausting.
I know I'm one of them too because
I'm sorry.
I was thinking So you think Mark that Austin is probably the 2 or 3, but he's going to be.
Yeah, there's two. There's two. Look, he's 2-3. There's Van Jefferson. He's been stepping up. I did a video on it today, so it'll be coming out on my channel later on. But it's not the greatest video. They're 100%. But the receiver 2 talk, I think it's a bit overrated, to be honest. Like, it's more like a depth chart than Madden. Zach Azani, receivers coach, a few days ago on the OTL, the mandatory minicamp, he talked about and said there's no real receiver 2. There's guys who step up in roles. You could be seeing 4 receivers on there. You could be seeing.
So it's like community.
Yeah, we've got like set roles for someone to be a receiver 2. And there's the players like Frymouth and Darnell. I think Wilson will step up. I think CA3 steps up. I think Van Jefferson steps up. I just don't think that we have to carve out like we need a receiver 2. Like, he's the guy and he has to get 70 catches. You know what I mean? I think it's been overplayed. I think the media has talked about it way too much. It's a buzzword. It's a buzzword when you don't know what to say. You go, Steelers need a receiver 2. Well, they also need a head coach. They hired Mike Tomlin, and I'm sick of it. I don't want to see Mike Tomlin here ever again.
Burns ain't. He put him asleep. You put him asleep. But I think the person who's going to be taking any position is Freiermuth. Freiermuth's going to get a lot of catches anyway, so he's probably number 2, whatever we say. He's going to be him and Pickens are going to be the receiving guys with Austin, and I would like to see Washington in the red zone a little more. And maybe Connor Hayward could have anybody right now could be huge for the Steelers because it's a long season, and that grind, it's not going to be every guy every game. It's going to be this person this game, and then maybe this person 2 games from down. So, and if Calvin Austin can just streak and Wilson has a better arm than Pickett, you might see another couple of 73 or 80-yard touchdowns this year.
Good comment by Afton there too. And I want to get Shane and your thoughts. If GP does go down, yes, there's a huge problem. That's the same with TJ Watt though too. When TJ Watt goes down, there's a huge problem. So I think it's a bit over talked about receiver 2 when there are guys on the roster who can fill in certain roles. Cordero Patterson, he's a kickoff returner. He can play a receiver too. He can play a receiver or like running back or whatever. And they're going to feed the ball towards Najee and Warren. There's a lot of guys in the offense who can catch the ball. And yes, Calvin Austin though is playing fantastic football, like, getting ready for the season.
I think Warren probably will get a lot. This offense is going to be something that the Steelers fans have not seen because I think they're just going to feed the ball to Warren and Harris. Both of these guys are going to get the ball a lot. So I can't wait. Yeah, good Washington.
Too. He's so tall. Just get him the ball. He's like,
John,
it'll be different.
Put John's message up. We talked about that last week. I'm past sick of it too. I
don't think there is a competition, Steelers freak. I'm going with Russell Wilson, and if something happens, the only way to Fields is if Russell gets hurt. Only thing. That's the only way. We got a quarterback who won a Super Bowl. He's got something to show, and he got 26. Last year, he was probably the top quarterback with 26 touchdowns.
Yeah, but I don't want and Mark, I don't want them to misuse Fields and put him in and get him hurt when there's not a good likelihood of them signing Wilson next year.
They might. You don't know.
Mark,
I don't know.
You think they're going to sign Russell Wilson for a second year? They're going to be able to afford that. I mean, that's going to be a lot of money.
He's already made a lot of money. Maybe it's about his reputation or his
you're right.
The way he wants to go out.
He's not he basically played himself out of a Hall of Fame selection with those last 3 years. So we'll see.
Well, if he takes us to the playoffs, if he takes the Steelers to the playoffs, guys, he's back in that Hall of Fame contention.
I think it might have to be an AFC Championship game.
I think he does owe money next year. I think next year's a similar amount.
$37 million next year after.
Well, then there we go. We still have, we don't have to pay him that much. We still have two good quarterbacks. And then next year, maybe someone in the draft is worthy because then you draft. Well, you might not have to draft anybody. They signed Justin Fields.
That's just it. They're going to sign Justin Fields, and Russell's going to go on his way. But Afton, I want to let you know. So the Denver Broncos are going to be still writing him a check when he comes to Denver to play them wearing a Steelers jersey. That's kind of funny.
I don't know. He could improve. You know what? Let him sit behind. He's never sat behind anybody, and he's never Fields has never learned from a veteran. Sometimes it takes sitting there and listening to the veterans and how things happen to actually gain some knowledge. Chicago just threw him in there and was like, hey, here you go. Like they got this other guy now. What's his name? Khalib. He's thrown in.
Williams or whatever.
Yeah. They're throwing him to the wolves. He's gonna be just out. He's gonna be out in left field. So I mean, I'm okay with the quarterback positions we have. I'm okay with everything. I just wanted. I don't want it to give up a whole bunch to get it. If we had to get another receiver, I don't want to give the whole farm away. It's not worth it, in my eyes.
Like you said there too, it's probably less like it's going to happen now, but it still could happen. But like, I'm okay with this roster right now. Of course, going to change over time too with injuries too. But they've made a lot of moves all around, and we're going to see the Smith offense. They're talking about they're using 2 tight ends. They're going to use Hayward and possibly use a fullback. We don't know. Going to be using the running game a lot. It's improved from last year. So much better than last year.
Yeah. Oh my God, we're upgrading, and we're upgrading the defense. I mean, I cannot wait till when we give our picks. I'm always picking Steelers anyway because I can't fucking pick them to lose. It's against my religion, but I know I have to, throw one in there. You know what I mean? Some debauchery of whatever. But I also want to say about this guy who didn't get the contract extension. Okay. And you said he lost some weight. I believe he's going to have a big year also, which I always say every year because I'm a Najee Harris fan. I wanted him. I'm so happy that they drafted him. I'm pro Najee, and I think he's going to run. And if he gets 12 to 1,300 yards and Warren gets 1,000 yards, we're already ahead of the game way more we've been in the last 5 years. What do you guys think about that?
There's really nothing to say because I'm a Najee fan too, and I don't know where this comes from to give him such a hard time. I mean, he's a strong runner. He's one of the better running backs in the NFL. For running backs not being a featured part of the team like they were 10 years ago, where you built your team around running back you're paying a shitload of money to. Now they seem to be like an interchangeable afterthought. But
well, I disagree. Najee didn't show up yesterday, so he's dead to me.
Oh, blown.
I'm joking. I love Najee, man. Najee's great.
Burns will be back on.
Najee's fine. Najee is what we need for our team. He looks like he's checked in, and the 1-2 punch exists. We have a great running back room. And also, like I said, Cordero Patterson can run the ball too. He's going to be the third guy.
Yeah.
He ran for Falcons. He ran for Falcons and Vikings and all that kind of stuff.
Well, this is hey, when Arthur Smith had Derrick Henry, that was his best 2 years ever. First year with Najee, and then Najee's looking for a contract. He gets 13 or 1400. Pittsburgh's going to sign him, and he needs to take that deal and don't be like Le'Veon Bell, like, oh, hey, I want this much, because they don't pay the running backs like they used to anyway. They don't. I remember when I was a kid, the running backs were like, running backs are the superstars. You know what I mean? Yeah, I love that combination too.
I'm looking at the stats now with Cordero Patterson, and the Falcons, they use him in 2023, 50 attempts, 3.6 average, and in 2022, 144 attempts. So they can use him as a third down back as well. So and Warren, we know Warren's going to go off. We know Najee, how he is. This offense, this is why I'm so excited and pumped up for the season, because offensive line is better. We all know that. At center, the guards, the tackles, they're all getting bigger and bigger. So it has to improve. And with a veteran guy like Wilson, and yes, you want to try and feed him Fields if you can, somehow, some way, people say like a slash roll, or you get him a certain package or whatever. But it is overall better from last year with Matt Canada's offense. I know I didn't want to say his name, but yeah,
that's okay. You can. I mean, it's not like it's not like the Annabelle horror where my head turns different ways, but and you're right. You're right. Running backs are disposable, but some running backs, if you have them on your team, that's who you want. And Najee gets stronger as the game goes longer. That's
Can you
proven.
imagine that monster from that kid they got from, was it South Dakota State? I mean, that farm-fed kid getting out in the second line after making his block and pancaking someone.
Well, there's going to be some sleeper. There's going to be a sleeper always in training camp, and it could be a running back. Najee, Jalen,
our new offensive line guys.
Oh, the McCormick, the big bloke.
McCormick. I want to see him lay out the
quarterback.
I mean, there are going to be people fighting for their jobs. There are going to be people fighting for their jobs, and even on that defensive line is going to be hungry. You know what I mean? And Loudermilk's going to be fighting for a job this year, I believe. McCormick. Yep, you're absolutely right. McCormick.
Yeah, he's a big bloke. Yeah. He definitely, and he just is this big physical dude. So he's gonna be awesome to watch.
Well, I'm ready. There. Yep. Ball control. Yep. You can't lose with that.
Nope.
It's
been a great show, guys. A lot of fun.
Oh, well, you know what? We had Burns back. Mark told him where to go and where a bear shits in the woods. And that was awesome. And yeah, I mean, anytime Mark comes on, it's ratings galore.
But that's, what, we all agree, disagree. But I always find with my YouTube stuff, it just feels like a bar. I do the same thing at bar. You'd be going back and forth here and there. We all want to see our team win.
I wish we had like popcorn or pretzels. What do you prefer at the bar? When you're drinking at the bar, what do you prefer?
I'm not a huge fan of popcorn anymore. I'd rather pretzels. You know what I mean? I do make me thirsty. These pretzels are making me thirsty.
Yep. I like pretzels too.
Pretzel guy, or do you like the little ones, the bigger ones, or the ones with flavor on them?
I don't know if we have them like in our bars and stuff. I don't know. Like, what you guys have the real pretzels, right? The real like the
thick ones. Big thick
ones. Yeah, like that. The actual food, they're all right. I don't know. I just wanted to say that because it was a Seinfeld reference. These pretzels are making me thirsty.
I love pretzels. Well, do you dip your pretzels? This is crazy.
Nah.
Crazy question. You don't put mustard
in what? I don't know. I don't think we have as much as you think we here in Australia. We just eat kangaroo meat.
Okay.
Pretzels.
Well, that's good on a stick. I mean, I would eat that.
Yeah.
Maybe the U.S. people, maybe we're crazy. Because I know I take my Heinz ketchup and I dip my pretzels in. Yeah, I know it's fucked up. Yeah, I know. And I dip it. Yeah. Yeah, I love fucking pretzels and ketchup.
Salad. Have you ever had the pretzel salad, the strawberry pretzel salad?
Oh, yeah. I could eat a whole fucking pan of that.
At the Meadows. I've never had it. So, Mark, there's like this whipped cream, yellow, strawberries, and then pretzel on the bottom. It's fantastic.
Oh my God, that's funny. Well, one more question, Mark, before I get out of here. When you go to the bar, do you have like peanuts in a container, and then do you eat peanuts? When you eat the peanuts, do you fucking crack the shells, or do you eat the shells?
You know what? A funny story. We used to have a thing down here in Australia called Lone Star. Like an outback like pub kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
and they used to have a thing. Do you have Lone Star in America? Maybe not, but we had a thing where you would go and get peanuts in a bucket. So while you're waiting for your table, you go and get peanuts and you crack them and throw the shells on the ground. Actually, in was it 2001 or 2 or something like that? Some lady fell over. She tripped over the peanuts and then she sued Lone Star. And then her mismanagement of her feet fucked it for everyone. It was so much fun being a customer. Like, cracking the shells and throwing them on the ground, having a good time eating peanuts. And because she stuffed up and fell over and broke her back, then they took away the peanuts. And then Lone Star went bankrupt. So one person didn't see where the peanut was on the ground, tripped over and stuffed her back, and she sued Lone Star because it was all dirty. And then the phone was gone.
Well, Texas Roadhouse, they're the same thing, but just names.
Well, the thing is, on the peanuts, when you crack them open and you throw the shells, if it's a wooden floor, that oil will get into the wood and actually make it better. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like we used to go there as a kid when one person, it was in Newcastle somewhere like that in Australia. So you went on the big, she sued them all, and they went. Then next minute, the business like, oh yeah, we probably shouldn't be throwing shells on the ground, because of safety. So, but it was fun because we used to go there and have steak and stuff like that, and then they come around and sing happy birthday.
Oh
and
yeah.
then you see like the waiters. There's like one waiter is like being there 8 hours, just going like, I don't want to sing this. Happy birthday.
See, I would do it when we did wrestling shows. We go to Hooters. And then one of the guys would go take a piss, one of the wrestlers, and we would tell the waitresses it's his birthday, but it wasn't. And then they would come out and they'd be like, happy birthday. And they give him a little, and he's like, what the fuck are you guys? And we do it every time. If you went to the bathroom, you were always in trouble at Hooters.
I tell you, I went to a Hooters in Sydney, near Parramatta Way. It's one of the worst Hooters I've ever been to. The food was bloody awful. It was awful.
I didn't go for the food.
And it's like a Hooters. It's called Twin Peaks.
Oh yeah, we have that here.
I took my kids there and my wife there, and we just went in and they had flannels. So we're like, okay, they're just looking like lumberjacks. So we're like, that's a good place. We went to another Twin Peaks and they're in lingerie. And my kids are like,
yeah, I was gonna say, I think we have a different Twin Peaks, because the one I went to, they give you massages and like they're just completely naked. It's great.
Nice.
We went there for a Bucks party. So I think there's a different Twin Peaks that we have in Australia.
Yeah,
Twin Peaks.
Different but good. Different but good.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
No lawsuits there. No peanuts there. Just nuts.
No peanuts. Just nuts. Big, just small, and otherwise. So,
we got to start again.
Well, yes, you can hit the replay. Hit the replay, Tom. But
we're doing 24 hours. We're doing draft show. What the fuck?
That'll be next year. That's with peanuts. Well, everybody will have different fucking appetizers. So everybody, I'll have a bag of peanuts, and Shane will have popcorn, and then you'll have kangaroo meat.
Yeah, I'll bring kangaroo meat. It's very hard to catch them, though.
Yeah,
jeez,
I know. I can't catch them.
Often called it another American restaurant.
Yeah,
Vietnamese coffee. Oh, they used to have that down in Pittsburgh too, down at the old Edison, down there at the Edison Hotel. Yeah. I wouldn't know anything about it. So, okay. Well, hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Mark, once again, thank you so much for coming on. Oh, great show. I love that you told Burns, you put Burns to sleep. I love it. First time he was on in 4 months, and you sent him to school packing.
I won't be here next week. You can come back next week. All right.
So, hey, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Go hit subscribe to Steelers Nation Australia if you haven't, because I think a lot of you guys already have. But if you haven't, please do. And subscribe to the Steelers Dynasty podcast. And me and Shane will be back next week. Shane, do you got anything going on this week?
Yeah, I'm going to be on a show Friday at 2. And then we're going to do tomorrow. It's called College Football Smack Talk. We're changing the Big 12. We're not going to talk about as much Big 12 tomorrow. We're going to do College Football Smack Talk. And then Friday, I have my West Virginia show on the Voice of College Football. So,
is it your birthday today, Mark?
Nah, it's just referencing back to the Lone Star happy birthday, and the guy that's been working 12 hours and he hates his life.
I was getting ready to sing it. Okay, thank you. Yeah, hit rewind. So, hey, everybody, get your tickets to the APWF show. I got 11 days, so I'll be doing that. And thanks to all my sponsors. And I'll be back Friday night when we do our WWE picks at the Castle pay-per-view in Scotland. And we'll be talking wrestling and doing all this other stuff. But, hey, guys, see you guys next week. Go Steelers, and go Steelers Nation Australia. Good night, everybody. See ya.